My name is Gergely Csonka. I'm the CTO of Cheppers, and this is my colleague, Gábor Mészáros, who is developer at Cheppers. To put you in perspective, Cheppers is a Drupal development company. We have a team of 24 people right now, 25, yeah. And in the beginning we were working with Drupal exclusively, but recently we started working with other technologies such as Ruby and Go. But we use these technologies when we are working on Acquia's services, embedded in Acquia's engineering teams. So what we do is still related closely to Drupal, so I would say that we are still a 100% Drupal company. But we are not here to talk about what we do now, but to talk about how we got here. So our way from the beginning to this point. Both of us have failed attempts before Cheppers, and we are here to share our failures and our successes with you. And as the session's description says in the schedule, we want to share all the good, the bad, and the ugly decisions that we have made to get here. And in fact, we chose the good, the bad, and the ugly to be the theme of our presentation. And we haven't decided yet which one of us is the good or the bad, but there's a third rule, and we need the community, the attendees to step up to the third rule. So instead of choosing just one out of you, we would like to involve everyone. So we would like all of you to participate. What our presentation is structured around the subtopics of growth, and we would like to discuss each one. So it's not going to be a usual presentation, just the two of us talking, but we would like to discuss each topic. So at the end, don't hold back your questions, and don't wait until the end of the presentation. We will give you the opportunity to share your thoughts on each topic.
Right, and we really hope that you will do. First of all, we have some questions for you guys. First of all, who is working alone? Like a freelancer, right? Only three guys? Okay, it's cool. Who is working as part of a team with less than 10 people? That's more hands, okay. Between 10 and 19? I see you guys, okay. And more than 20? You too?
Yes.
Right. And one of the most important questions from our part for you guys, who is in a role where she or he can make decisions? One, two.
Yes, so about growth
yeah.
and hiring people. Who
Yeah.
are decision makers?
Right. Thank you very much for your
Okay,
feedback.
this presentation is focused more on those people who are decision makers, but I think that we will be able to tell interesting things to the others as well.
By the way, how do you define
Wait for the microphone. Please.
So it's not really relevant how do you define the working in a team side of whatever question, because I mean,
Yeah, I mean.
so in a company of I don't know 30 people or in
yeah,
a
it's really
closer.
not important, but the reason we worded this the question like this, because maybe there are people working as freelancers but in a team together, like a company, but they're not technically a tech company. Okay, let's move on to the first topic. Just a second. Okay, so the first thing that we would like to discuss, how someone gets to that decision when he has to decide if he wants to grow a company. And let me start by telling my story. Actually, I had two attempts at growing a company, building up a company before Cheppers. And the first one is in 2009. That's when I started working full-time as a Drupal developer. And actually, I funded all alone a product company. I created a product. I even managed to sell it to one enterprise company, insurance company in Hungary. But then I was there and I had no idea how to go on from there. I had skills to build a product, and I knew someone at that company who helped me to sell the product to that company, but I had no connections at other potential customers, and I had no skills for marketing the product or selling the product. So the choice was, it was no obvious choice that I needed to find someone else to help me. I didn't have the competence. So that's why the first time I decided to grow a company was because I lacked the competence to be successful. And I tried a few people from my network, and none of them were really a good fit. So after a few months, I moved on. I abandoned the product and became a freelancer. I started working on Drupal projects, and it took me quite a while, a year or two, to establish a steady stream of projects and to find the good clients and to figure out how I can make the whole thing profitable. But after that, it very quickly went to that point, to that level when it was just too much to handle. I had more work than I could handle. So I had no choice, but again, I had the choice to grow. And I decided to grow because to grow the company. This time the decision was made because of the lack of capacity. So as the first time it was the lack of competence, the second time it was the lack of capacity. And I thought that, okay, I will this time it's going to be easier because finding salespeople, I don't really speak their language, but Drupal developers, they're just like me. So it's going to be easy, that's what I thought. And well, it wasn't that easy. I was well known in the community by that time. I went to a lot of meetups and everything. And I walked up to people that, okay, you're a very good senior Drupal developer. Come and join me. I am going to build a company. I have this vision that it's going to be a very successful company. We're going to make a lot of money and we're going to work on super cool projects and we're going to have a lot of fun. So quit your job and join me. And they were like, I don't know, I don't quit my job this easily. First, let me see that I take this company off the ground, and let me see you succeed, and then maybe I will join you. So it wasn't easier at all. I had to interview people who I had not known before, and it went really slowly. And also, as I started working with other people, very soon I had to realize that managing people, managing the company, the finances and everything is just, it's not what I want to do. I don't enjoy it, and it's just too much. So I made the choice to grow the company, but not like that. I decided that I need someone who is a kind of a business person who will run the company, and of course we still need capacity because I have more work than I can handle. And at that time, imagine me, there was I with very good projects, very good international projects, all alone, and I thought that my best choice is to find a company with a good CEO, with a few people, a company that have the competence and the capacity, but don't have the projects. So what I bring to the table will be a win-win situation for both of us. And that's how actually I met my business partner with whom I founded Cheppers at a Drupal event. We met at a Drupal event actually, and so this is how Cheppers was started. Gábor, what about you?
Well, yeah, about me. It was almost like your second attempt to build a company. But actually, I started as a freelancer developer, and as time went by, I got more and more tasks, projects, more to do, what I had to handle. But simply, I didn't have the capacity to actually do it. So I believe anyone here who actually started to build a company by its own notice is that there's a point where you have simply too much work. You do not really get any chance to rest, any chance to learn new stuff. You just working and working and working. And it was that time when I decided to grow a bit. And actually, this was the very factor what I choose to follow from now on. But first, I try to get more work. I try to get as much work as we cannot handle anymore, and after that, we will grow a bit. Unfortunately, it's not really enough to make a successful company and make your company grow actually sustainable. Go on.
Yeah. So I think this is the time to ask you to share your thoughts with us. But before I hand the microphone to you, I would like to sum it up. So I think that what is most important here is, at least what I learned during my attempts, is that you have to be able to recognize your limits, and either if it's capacity or if it's competence, you have to be aware of your limits, and you have to try to find the right people. Okay, who has any experience or any stories that you could share with us, or who has any questions? Come on, guys. Nobody? Okay, Chang, please.
Hello. So I've essentially been a freelancer for about 9 years now, and the first 2 were at university. So I found myself quite interested in these little side projects I was working on, and then decided it'd be best for me to finish my IT degree and then go straight into freelance work. But I found it was quite difficult because there'd be moments where I had work and then didn't have work, but didn't necessarily have all the skills or the contacts, but then just kept trying to do it. So I think it's kind of worked out for me doing it really slowly alongside other stuff. But one of the things I found with trying to grow was I tried to do it once. So I was involved in training Drupal apprentices on a scheme, and then found that these guys were quite good and I enjoyed training them, and then made the mistake of hiring 2 of them and didn't necessarily have enough time or space to then manage the company. So I think that wasn't the best decision. But since then I've kind of just gone back to just being me, and I'm trying to focus on doing the whole capacity building and having enough work before hiring other people. That's my contribution.
Thank you. Anyone else?
I'd like to ask about your saying it came through as it was very easy for you to get more work. It was more difficult to work with people, or so you had your network from the start. Or could you please tell us about how you built your network?
You mean how I found the clients? Okay. Yeah. Well, I was very active in the community, and actually that's how I got the best clients from it's just word of mouth. They someone who had too much work, and some people don't choose to grow. They just send the client to somewhere else, and yeah. Or in my case, there was one guy who was a very active who was very active in the Drupal community, and he had a lot of work from his network, and he just moved on and he started doing something else and stopped doing Drupal. And he sent the clients to other people, and I was one of them. So that's how it happened. In the meantime, does anyone know what to do with the projector?
Yeah. Yeah, please. Anyone.
Okay, so my question is that how do you, that's very loud. So how do you, so what I'm thinking is it may be equivalent to grow as a freelancer or to grow as, or join or to grow to a company. I mean, you may talk about how to grow as a freelancer, for example. For example, as you said, the last in your last sentences, you know freelancers who grow as a not as themselves in capacity, but in kind of thing with exchange of clients and projects. So it can be possible that at some point you decide to not grow, but to grow in a more connected, networked sense. It was just my.
Yes, you're right. That's something that is also important. But we right now we are just talking about growing in number. Okay.
What did you talk about that later as well?
At this point, I'm really not sure what's going on. Okay, the second topic is how can you make. Oh, I forgot to ask if anyone else wanted to contribute. Okay, okay, let's move on, and we can still come back to this if you want to. Okay, how can you make your growth sustainable? My experience is that you need three factors. You need three things. You have to get right three things. The first one is money. Growing costs money. It's expensive. Sometimes, I mean, some companies start with a lot of money or invest in money. Maybe if it's a product company, typically, and then they can hire people and don't care. They don't need to care about revenue. Cheppers was different. So we, from the very beginning, we had to finance our own growth. So we had to keep an eye on the revenues. Because as the number of people, the number of the team grows, of course the costs of the company grow as well. And yeah, you mentioned that you need more work in order to grow. So this is what we did, and this is something that you really have to work on your pipeline. You have to have a pipeline full of projects in order if you want to grow. In order to grow. So this is the first one. The second one is, well, yeah, it's the projects. So you need more and more projects, so the pipeline is the second one. And the third one is, I think that after a while, and this is something that we have experienced recently, that once the community itself has a limit. So it can happen that you reach the limit of the community. You know everyone who is working with Drupal, and you have either hired those people or they are not interested, and that's it. So after a while, if you want to grow after a while, you have to make sure that the community is going to, yeah.
Right. Well, extending what you just said, I believe it's also important to keep an eye about the inner mechanism of the company. So if you start to grow, you will notice that you have to bring in some methodology. How you do stuff. What is your what are your tools which will provide a certain level of a product? Talking about here a common knowledge base, what people can use easily. Talking here about mentoring. So, for example, you hire people and you hire a guy, and you will give her or him senior will teach the new guy about the company policy. So how do we do stuff? I believe this is one of the most important part of get the growth sustainable. Otherwise, it will just build up and build up and build up, and it will collapse on itself. Actually, this is my own experience. We try to get some policy in my previous company, and unfortunately, it wasn't good enough. So it's just a thing. If you create a knowledge base, it's very important to make the knowledge base better, continuously develop to make a better product and a better policy for your company. Any questions or experiences?
Yeah, so what Gábor meant, I was talking about how you can grow the number of the company and the number of employees, and he was talking about how you can integrate those people. So if you're growing very fast, you can lose the quality or the culture of the company. So it's important to keep an eye on that as well. Who has something to add?
Hi, what are you doing when you find out that your community needs to grow? Do you have this problem in Hungary? More community question company.
Well, I think that yes, it recently started to become a problem too in Hungary as well. So. Yeah, I don't really know. I mean, yes, you can try to get new people interested at universities or so there are some solutions. This is something that I'm really not. I don't have much experience with this, so I can't really answer you. Maybe someone else can. But what I wanted to say is. Okay, I'm sorry. I can't answer this question. Doesn't anyone have any experience with growing a community? How to get more people involved?
So in West London, where I lived, I was about an hour and 15 minutes from the city centre, and I decided to start up a local community called Drupal West London. But some of the ways that that's worked is working with other related communities, like some of the PHP communities, other web people, and also making events very accessible to like beginners who potentially be like project managers and UX people without necessarily knowing about Drupal, but just bringing them into Drupal. So a lot of people are quite interested. That's all stuff that can help.
Thank you.
I was just going to say the Drupal Association just done the latest video on YouTube. And there's a girl who does marketing, I think it's in Croatia, and she's grown their global group from 10 to 100 over the last 18 months. And it's really good to watch, because if you do that, then you'll grow the community there, and obviously you'll meet people through that you could be potential employees. It's definitely worth a watch.
Thank you. Now I remember that, maybe I can answer your question. So what we do at Cheppers is we do a lot for the community. I mean, we participate in organizing events like this one. And so that is something, last year we participated in the global training day. So that's also something where new people can meet Drupal and maybe they get interested. So yeah, these are the ways. These are the things that we try. And I think that once Drupal 8 is out, it will be easier. So I don't know why you're here and not in the Spring Tool, but okay, it's your fault. Anyone else? Anyone else? Okay, then let's move on. How do you find people to work with? Gábor, how do you find your colleagues?
Well, actually I went resume, so I got in contact with my colleagues from my previous workplaces. And actually I was very lucky, because I actually find a guy who was actually keen to work with me, or rather keen not to work there, but it's a different topic. And this is one way to find people, obviously. After that, we started to look for employees, actually, sorry, not employees, but colleagues in the community, because we did not find the HR people's that's sufficient in finding actual good colleagues. It seems that they not really show the technical part of the actual job. So the community choice was the best what we could make. What was your experiences?
Well, so right now at Cheppers we do a lot of things like we do job ads and we work with 3 different recruitment companies and this kind of the usual things. But I think that what helped us the most was that we were really involved with the community. So we knew about, I think, more than half of our colleagues before they joined us. So it's a lot easier to find good talent if you're active in the community and you know people and you know who's good and who would be a good fit. So that's basically it. Does anyone of you have any unusual ways to find talent or find colleagues?
Sometimes they can be a lot closer to home. It can be the person you share a bed with who can help you out. So I find that my lovely Hungarian wife always hears all these stories about Drupal, doesn't always understand them, but can really help out with shaping ideas and coming up with new ways to think of things. So.
There's the Drupal apprentice scheme in the UK, which they've just got kind of government backing for as well. So I don't know whether you've heard of that over here at all. So taking like apprentices into companies and can actually get government funding for it. But the main way I find people for it is I find the Drupal accounts.
Yeah, as I said, be active in the community, and that really helps. Okay, moving on. your mind. This one is much better.
That's from my anxiety.
Okay, our next question is, what do you do to keep your employees and attract new ones? I don't know, so only a few of you are really in that position to answer this question, but maybe those people who are the targets, I mean, who they want to attract, maybe those people also have an opinion. I think that this one is something that we more or less figured out by now. I mean, I think that we know the previous ones; those are just the way we did it, and we have just one kind of experience. But this one is, I think, this one is something that we do well because out of the we grew to 24 people, 25 people in 3 years, and during this time only 3 people left us. So that's I think that's a very good ratio. And so we are proud of that, and now I will share our secret because it's not a secret at all. It's not really something that you can fake. I identified 6 factors that are important for developers, and let me go from the least important to the most important. Well, this is. Maybe the order of importance is different for people, but this is my experience. The first one is money. I think that is the least important. After a while, if you pay enough for people, they don't care. They will not leave you for a little more money if they like everything else. And of course, you need to get to that level. So if you're below that level, then yeah, you can lose people over money. I think that was one of the big reasons that those people, 3 people left us a year ago. But another thing is, the second one is, maybe this sounds ridiculous, but the location is also important. It actually has happened that one of the people joined us just because he had several job offers, and our office is in the center of the city, and he didn't want to travel for hours every day, and he joined us. The third one was, well, I think the environment, the work conditions, those are really important. For example, we don't our office is not an open floor office, and we don't want one like that. We buy MacBooks to our new developers and everything. So I think that this one is important. The working conditions are really important, and I think that the motivating thing for a developer or for any employee is when he feels that his own company is holding him back from performing at the top of his abilities. So I think that is something that you really have to keep an eye on, and you should never let that happen. Another factor is, I have my notes over here. So yeah, the projects. Actually, it's important. People want to work on things that matter, things that are important, and they want to have influence on. So they want to work on big projects that really matter. And also they want to work on projects that are interesting and hopefully fun, or at least not just the same boring thing over and over again. So I think you cannot keep a developer for a good one for a long time if he's always working on small websites for no-name restaurants and such. So yeah, they need to be challenged, and yeah, so that is important. The next one was the team. I think it's really important to have a good team, to have people who are, who can have fun together, who hang out together after work. And the last one, which is I think the most important, I think that this is that's something that matters the most. Not in attracting people, maybe in that as well, but in keeping employees. It's to have a constant evolution of the company. You need to constantly improve and get to new levels all the time. And if you can do that, your employees will feel that all the other factors that I just mentioned, if those things get better and better all the time, even if they're at a low level at first, if they feel that everything is improving, then that's a good feeling, and that way you can keep them. Okay, this is how I see it as someone who is a decision maker at the company. I don't know, maybe employees see it quite differently. Yeah, but what is your
well, actually, I would like to ask your opinion about this topic. So, first of all, who thinks money is the most important thing to in this direction? So, what do you think? How important the money is to keep attracting your employees? Don't think it's really important, or it's your role?
As long as you can pay the rent, I guess it's enough.
You don't have a business if you don't have money.
That's true.
Yeah, that's true.
All right. Well, I think money is very important, and after money, I believe the team is the other very important thing. You have to build the team. You have to know your team members' limitations. You have to know how to handle the stress between team members. Otherwise, the team won't work together. But I believe it's really common sense. Actually, in my experience, the money was okay, I guess. The location was actually at your own home. So everybody at our company worked from home. It's good for a limited amount of time. So around a couple of months maybe, and not less, not more. Because a few months later, they won't communicate with each other. They won't share experiences, knowledge with each other. They just log in Skype and say, "Hi, I'm here. I'm starting to work." The project is, I believe, around middle late importance. We work a lot of small desks for different and small websites, and actually it wasn't really bad because we get a lot of knowledge about a lot of small and different projects. So we usually got projects from other people's other teams or companies who already started to work on something, and we usually had to fix that something. So it was really good to know how other companies thinking about the project, how other companies are developing a project.
Okay, to summarize it again, so I said that the most important thing is it doesn't matter where you are now, but you have to keep progressing. And yeah, team is important, of course. I mean, everyone wants to be around bright people, of course. Yes, and I don't know, anyone has anything to add?
So sorry for talking about that. I think you are missing a really important point, both of you. Like, basically, having a good team is very good. Having a close and frequented working environment and offices is also cool. But I think you didn't mention actually freedom, autonomy. I mean, it's very good if you have a lot of money and do teamwork and team events and something like that. But but any developer or any workforce will be burned out in at most years if they don't have, if everything of these good things are mandatory. You can opt out for example, locality. It's very good to have an office which is very good to work at and no distracting open space. Everyone is watching everything environment. And but if you don't have the option to, for example, sometimes just don't go there because you don't want to talk to people unless something is very important happens in the office, of course. So within the boundaries of the company's real interest, and so I think you can imagine that. So one key feature is, I think, the three basic principles of the happiness and satisfiedness of any developer or any workforce is enough money, freedom, and a vision, a goal to work for. I mean, feeling that what I do is something that matters, actually.
Okay, thank you. You're right. I meant also this freedom, like you can work from home if you want to. I thought that this is part of the work conditions.
Yes, and I think that we have this at Cheppers, and it's very good to have this at Cheppers.
She says we have this at Cheppers and it's very good. Yes, I agree. Yeah. Yes, this is true, and many. Yeah, so developers tend to be like some of them are like artists or so they need freedom to create. That's true. I agree with that. Okay, our time is short, so let's go on. Unless someone has something important as well. At what sizes do you need to make structural changes? The most obvious is when you go from 1 to 2. That's that's a huge change. The next one comes, I think, at about in Cheppers it came, I don't know, we were around 10 or 12 when we realized that we need someone to manage projects outside of the two of us, and so that was the next one. But to be honest, I don't think that we had any structural changes since, because as I mentioned, we started working with API, and they are managing some of our people who are working in their teams. So we don't have more manager type people. We also don't have sales because for some reason we always have enough work. So that's a good thing, I think. But still, we don't have a sales department or marketing or anything else. We have developers, designers, and project manager. So that's it. We're a developing company, really, not an agency. Also, I don't know. I mean, really, maybe other people have more experience with these structural changes. Does anyone have anything to share? I mean, those people who grew more than 20 people, maybe they had other, maybe there were times when they had to change the structure of the company? No. Okay.
Well, actually, I have a rather opinion. I believe it's not only attached to numbers. It's really all about how much your structure is sufficient to get your results for your project management, for your project quality providing. So where you have to make your structural changes is where your old structures are not sufficient enough anymore. I believe.
Yes, I think, yeah, what you mean is that, as I mentioned at the first slide, that when you don't have the competency or the capacity, well, it's about competency. So when you need someone, a new role, then yeah, you need to make structural changes. What rate of growth is healthy? This is, again, something I don't really know. Because I have only one experience, I mean, with Cheppers, and I don't know what is the healthy growth. I would say that whatever is sustainable, that's healthy. But I don't know. What do you think, Gábor?
Well, actually, I think the same. So the healthy growth is always sustainable. So it won't make you more stressful. It actually won't kill you. If you know your own limits of how and how much work you can do, then you will know that the growth what your company is going through is healthy or not. If you see that, if you see yourself that you're stressed out or freaked out, you cannot pay attention, or you cannot delegate time for your actually for your own developments, then the growth what is going on is unhealthy one.
Yes, and I would say that sometimes growth can hide the problems in your company. Growth can be an answer to problems that could be solved with doing it smarter. So growth is not always the answer. Does anyone have anything to add to this one?
So I think this question is a little bit misleading because it sometimes depends. Like if you have some resources like time and the productivity of your people, if growth is your top priority, you can assign more resources to growing for a time, but you can't ignore other things all the time just because you want to grow. So you always have to balance growth with other necessities or other priorities in your company.
Yeah, that's right. Thank you. Anyone else? Okay, that's one. The last one, when to stop growing. Again, something that I would say never. I think that once you stop growing, maybe the number can stop growing, the number of employees can stop growing, but in the other kind of growing, I mean, the evolution, the reaching new levels, that cannot stop. Once that stops, people will get bored and they will, I mean, it will not, you cannot stop. You either go on or you go back. I don't think you can stop. What do you think about? Good question.
I kind of agree. You should never stop. And actually, just as you said previously, growing is not always the answer. So you have to control the growing. You have to know the growing is healthy or not. And if it's not healthy growing, you have to take action. You have to stop that particular growing part. And the most important part is to actually know your company limits.
Okay, anyone to share his thoughts? Yeah. Nobody, okay. The last one is anything else? Anything else that you think that we should talk about when we talk about growing? Any other ideas or comments or questions? Okay. Okay, then well, I would like to thank you for your for attending session, and you've been a great audience. Thank you for everyone who participated and who shared his thoughts with us. Thank you, and go to the go-kart thing is about they're about to leave. So if you want to go to the go-kart events, then you should find those people. Okay, thank you for attending.
Thank you very much.
And